Have you even bothered to visit the streets of Carnarvon to observe the tragic outcomes of your inaction?
Many of the issues that are being confronted in regional WA, but in fact in parts of the metro area as well, are many generations in the making.
Minister, I refer to the Shire of Carnarvon President Eddie Smith's recent comments where he pleaded for the government to clean up Carnarvon, which he said looks like a war zone with out of control and ongoing domestic violence and child abuse. And I ask, when will you acknowledge that the mega department that is communities is failing children in Carnarvon and across Western Australia? And given the government's Target 120 program is yet to show meaningful reduction in at-risk children elsewhere, what other initiatives are you undertaking to take care of children in Carnarvon forgotten by your government?
The Minister for Child Protection.
It amazes me, Madam President, that the member for Cottesloe and leader of the Liberal Party would ask these questions of us, partly because earlier in question time we talked about a very successful program that has been trialled under the Department of Communities and has started to make a real difference to those young people's lives who are involved in it now. And Target 120, that the 20, perhaps you might listen to the answer, member.
Sorry.
Perhaps you might listen to the answer.
Member for Cottesloe, you've asked the question. Please allow the Minister to answer.
The member referred to Target 120, and I'm glad that he did, because it is another program that Department of Communities is responsible for, that this government committed to and has funded and has been rolling out in a number of communities across the state, 11 to date. And in all of those communities there has been very, very good outcomes for the young people that have been involved. About 50% of them, of those young people involved in the program, have had no interactions with police since being involved in the program, and that is a significant impact considering the cohort that is involved. Numerous incidents with the police, interactions with the court system if they haven't had involvement with being detained, to the extent that they haven't been detained, but numerous interactions. So Target 120 is a very positive program. And I'm proud of it, and I am proud also that we have been able to extend it to another 9 sites, and that will include Carnarvon. And we are getting on with 2 things. One is appointing someone in the Department of Communities who can begin the work of identifying the young people, contacting their families, seeing if they want to be involved in the program. It does require a level of engagement to get a change, but they are now well practised at that. And then eventually we will transition to where we can, Aboriginal controlled organisations to do that work, because I think it's no surprise that we're more likely to get good engagement from those young people and their families by Aboriginal organisations. So that is actually dealing with early intervention with young people to try and stop them going into the youth justice system before they actually are detained, and we know we have poor outcomes for those young people. So I'm proud of that. We've also put resources into Carnarvon. We have a regional office there, and we have child protection staff there. And I was reminded of a letter I got from someone who we've heard a bit about this afternoon, Eddie Smith, the Shire President, in February this year, thanking me for the relocation of senior child protection staff in Carnarvon. He says, "Dear Minister McGurk, please accept this letter of acknowledgement and thanks for relocating a senior member of the Department of Communities team, Rochelle Binks, Executive Director, Midwest Gascoyne, to Carnarvon. The Shire of Carnarvon is delighted with this decision." And he goes on to say, "Again, Minister, we express our thanks to you for recognising the need in Carnarvon and for responding to that need in such a positive manner. I'd also like to take this opportunity to invite you to Carnarvon," etc. So I acknowledge that there is work to do. There's no doubt about that. We have many of the issues that are being confronted in regional WA, but in fact in parts of the metro area as well, are many generations in the making. Many generations in the making, and they will not be turned around despite the hysteria that the opposition is trying to whip up between now and a by-election.
No.
They won't be turned around in that time. We are putting additional resources. Since coming to office, we have put over 200 more case-carrying child protection workers into our system, 224 in fact. New FTE doing case-carrying child protection work on the ground. What did the opposition do when it comes to child protection? Can anyone think of what the opposition did when it came to child protection? Anything? Name one thing. Yeah, that's right. Increase the number of Aboriginal kids in care. So, just in conclusion, Madam Speaker, can I just address the issue about this so-called mega department? Mega department. It has about 6,000 people working in it. It's about the same as the WA. It's actually a little bit smaller than the WA police force, and much, much smaller than other agencies, education and health and the like. It is not a mega department. You guys need to get out a bit more. It is not a mega department. It is a department doing very, very tough work. And I just take a moment to ask you to think about the people who work in that department. Every time you say, Leader of the Opposition, that it's a dysfunctional department, every time you criticise their work, every time you talk about them as a mega department, every time you say that there is widespread racism in the department, you are criticising child protection staff and those on the ground that are working in the most difficult of circumstances. I'd like to thank them for their work and applaud them for their efforts.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question.
Minister, have you even bothered to visit the streets of Carnarvon to observe the tragic outcomes of your inaction?
Order, please, members. Minister, given the time and it is a supplementary, I'll ask for a brief answer, please.
Yes, I have been to Carnarvon a couple of times, and I have been to Carnarvon and I have visited the child protection staff there. I have visited community sector organisations there. As I said, this is difficult work, and it is not. And the efforts to build good communities are not served well by a divisive and shallow opposition who are only thinking about the next by-election. No.